The last thing that we want to do on this page is to try to understand a little bit better what our production function looks like. And on the next page, we're also going to try to understand what our cost functions look like. That's because I'm really trying to help you draw the connection between the table problems and graph problems. They're really exactly the same problem, just presented in two different ways, but sometimes it's hard to see that from the outset. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to graph total product on one graph, and then we're going to graph marginal product on the other graph. When I'm graphing total product, I'm going to go ahead and label my y-axis by hundreds. And then just looking at my table, I can see if I have 0 workers, I produce no output. If I have 1 worker, I produce 180. And this does not need to be precise here. We're just trying to get a sense of the general shape of this line. Okay, 480 and 500. If I go ahead and connect these dots, which is really very incorrect because the table problem is discrete and here I'm making it continuous. The point here is to try to help you visualize what this might look like, what this type of function might look like as a graph. Then what you've got here is this function that's increasing. As I add more workers, I get more coffee, but it's increasing at a decreasing rate. It's becoming flatter as we go on. The slope is getting smaller. And actually, the marginal product is the slope of the production function. For those of you who've had calculus, you'll recognize that this formula here, change in quantity over change in our input, right? That could be the derivative of the production function with respect to labor. And that's how we would do this in the upper level classes. For now, we're just interested in what's happening to our marginal product of labor. So I'm going to go ahead and label this axis by 50s. And then plot my marginal product of labor. So 1, it's 180. 2, 140, 3, 100, 4, 60, and 5. So if I go ahead and connect these dots, again, that's, mathematically makes your head hurt, but just to get a sense of what this looks like, what you can see is that your marginal product is decreasing. We knew that already. The more workers I hire, the less output each additional worker will produce. Another way of saying that is that the slope of the production function is decreasing with labor. All of this to say that we always assume this decreasing marginal product or diminishing returns to scale as one property of our production function.